can't tell you what Outer Wilds is about. Not because I don't want to, because telling you would ruin it. This is a game where knowledge is the only progression system, and every piece of information you learn changes how you see everything else. Spoiling Outer Wilds isn't like spoiling a movie. It's like telling someone the answer to a riddle they haven't heard yet. The experience just stops working. So I'm going to do something weird with this video. I'm going to tell you what the game feels like without telling you what happens. I'm going to explain why it matters without explaining why the sun explodes. And I'm going to try very hard to make you play this game without giving you any reason not to. Here's what I can tell you. You are a four-eyed alien on a tiny planet. Today is a special day. You're about to become the newest astronaut in your species' fledgling space program, which consists of a handful of handmade wooden ships and a whole lot of enthusiasm. You get your launch codes, you climb into your ship, you take off, and 22 minutes later, the sun explodes and you die. Then you wake up, same planet, same morning, same launch codes, same 22 minutes. You're in a time loop. The sun is going to keep exploding. You're going to keep dying. Nothing you do can stop it. Nothing you build carries over. Nothing you collect transfers between loops. When the sun goes supernova, everything resets. Everything except what you know. That's the game. You explore a tiny handcrafted solar system, each planet hiding pieces of a mystery that stretches back thousands of years. You land on planets. You read ancient texts. You follow leads. You connect dots. And then the sun kills you and you start over. But this time, you know something you didn't know before. And that knowledge changes where you go next, what you look for, what questions you ask. There are no upgrades, no unlockable abilities, no skill tree, no gear. The ship you fly in Loop 1 is the same ship you fly in Loop 50. The only thing that grows is you, your understanding, your map of how everything connects. The game trusts that knowledge alone is enough motivation to keep playing. And it is. God, it is. The solar system in Outer Wilds is small. You can fly from one end to the other in a couple of minutes. There are maybe 6 or 7 major locations. On paper, that sounds tiny. In practice, it's one of the richest game worlds I've ever explored, because every location is doing something. I can't tell you what specifically, but I can tell you this. Every planet in Outer Wilds has a gimmick, and I mean that in the best possible way. Each one operates on a rule, a physical principle, a behavior that defines how you interact with it. And these gimmicks aren't static. They change over the course of each 22-minute loop. A planet at the start of a loop is not the same planet at the end of one. Paths open, paths close. Things that were accessible become buried. Things that were hidden become exposed. This means timing matters. Not just where you go, but when you go there. Some discoveries can only be made in the first 5 minutes of a loop. Some can only be found in the last 3. And figuring out which is which, realizing that you need to be in a specific place at a specific time to see a specific thing, is one of the most satisfying puzzle-solving experiences in gaming. The game never tells you any of this. It never says, "Come back at minute 17. You figure it out because you visited a place twice at different times and noticed something had changed. That noticing, that moment of realization, is the entire game. There's an ancient civilization at the heart of the mystery. I'll call them what the game calls them. The Nomai. They came to this solar system long before your species existed, and they left behind writing on every wall, in every ruin, on every scrap of technology they built. Their language has been translated by your species, so you can read it, and reading it, is how you learn everything. The Nomai didn't write instruction manuals. They wrote conversations. Their wall texts are literally messages between colleagues, friends, sometimes lovers. They argued about theories. They celebrated discoveries. They worried about failures. They were scientists, and their writing reads like scientists, full of excitement and doubt, and the particular kind of stubbornness that comes from caring deeply about getting the right answer. You are reading the notes of dead people who are trying to solve a mystery, and you are solving the same mystery using their notes. And slowly, across dozens of loops, the pieces start clicking together. A name mentioned on one planet connects to an experiment described on another. A failed project here explains an anomaly there. The Nomai's journey and your journey converge until you realize you're both asking the same question, separated by thousands of years but standing in the same place, looking at the same sky, wondering the same thing. I can't tell you what the question is, but when you find it, you'll know. I want to talk about how this game handles death, because it's unlike anything else. Dying in most games is a failure state. You did something wrong. You pay a price. Try again. Dying in Outer Wilds is just the loop resetting. It's not punishment. It's a commute. The sun explodes. You wake up. You go back to work. This reframing changes everything. Death stops being scary about 3 loops in. It becomes routine. You start thinking of each loop, not as a life to preserve, but as a budget of time to spend. 22 minutes. Where am I going? What am I checking? Do I have time to reach that planet before the thing happens? And because death is weightless, exploration becomes fearless. You can try anything. Fly into the sun. Dive into a black hole. Crash your ship into a planet at full speed. The worst that happens is you wake up and try something else. This isn't just a quality of life feature. It's a design philosophy. The game wants you to be curious without consequences. It wants you to poke at things and see what happens. It wants you to ask what if and then find out. Every other game punishes curiosity with death. Outer Wilds rewards it with knowledge. There's something I want to say about the ending without spoiling it. I'll be careful. Outer Wilds has one ending, not multiple endings, not branching paths, not a choice screen. One ending. And you can technically reach it from the very first loop. The door to the ending is never locked. You just don't know where it is, or what it means, or why it matters, until you've explored enough to understand. This is maybe the most elegant piece of game design I've ever encountered. The game doesn't gate the ending behind collectibles or boss fights or percentage completions. It gates the ending behind comprehension. You can't finish the game until you understand the game. Not because a barrier stops you, but because you literally won't know what to do unless you've connected enough pieces of the puzzle. And when you do finally reach the ending, when you sit there and watch it unfold, you'll feel something that I genuinely struggle to put into words. It's not triumph. It's not sadness exactly. It's something closer to acceptance. A peace that comes from understanding something fully and sitting with what that understanding means. I cried. I'm not going to pretend I didn't. The ending of Outer Wilds made me cry, and it did it without a single word of dialogue, without a cutscene, without telling me how to feel. It just showed me the truth I'd been chasing for 15 hours, and let me sit with it. I need to mention the DLC Echoes of the Eye. It came out in 2021, and it is essentially a second game, bolted onto the first. It adds an entire new area to the solar system, a new mystery, a new civilization, and a tonal shift from wonder into genuine dread. If the base game is about the joy of discovery, Echoes of the Eye is about the fear of what you might find. It's excellent, Some people think it's better than the base game. I think it's a perfect complement. Play the base game first. Finish it. Let it sit. Then play the DLC and let it recontextualize everything you thought you understood. Outer Wilds was made by Mobius Digital, a small team that started the project as a thesis at USC. It won the Game Award for Best Game Direction in 2019 and regularly shows up on Best Games of All Time lists. It has a community of people who genuinely envy anyone playing it for the first time because they know what that experience is like and they can never have it again. That sounds like hyperbole. It's not. Outer Wilds is a game that cannot be replayed. Not because it's bad the second time, because it's about discovery, and you can't discover something you already know. The first playthrough is the only playthrough that matters. Every moment of confusion, every wrong turn, every time you fly to a planet and find nothing, and then fly there again 2 hours later and find everything. All of that only happens once. So if you haven't played it, you have something I don't. You have a first time ahead of you. Don't waste it. Don't look up guides. Don't watch spoiler videos. Don't read the wiki. Just play it. Land on things. Read the walls. Follow the questions wherever they lead. The sun is going to explode no matter what you do. What matters is what you learn before it does. That's Outer Wilds. It's on Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. Go play it. Then come back here and tell me how the ending made you feel. Because I guarantee you'll need to talk to someone about it. If you haven't seen my other essays, Easy Delivery Co., Replaced, and Pseudo Regalia are all linked in the description. Same energy, different games. Subscribe. I'll see you next time.